Are you one of Earth's brightest minds looking for great opportunity? We have just the home for you, Mizari Andalli, City on the Moon. Here's the mayor of Mizari Andalli, Anthony Hayden, to tell you about the city.
Mizari Andalli was first settled in 2050 by a small group of scientists, civil, mechanical, and electrical engineers, and ambassadors from all the Earth countries. Now in 2222, our population is over 35,000. We are looking for new citizens to come and use the engineering design process to improve and expand our city.
What's the engineering design process?
Research the problem, come up with potential solutions, make a prototype, see if it works. If it does, make it better. If it doesn't, try again.
Are there any requirements for those who are coming to Mizari Andalli?
Yes, to come to Mizari Andalli, you must be physically fit, mentally stable, and be skilled in an area such as nuclear engineering, civil engineering, scientific research, or biomedical engineering. Once you've come, visiting Earth isn't an option. The constant changes in gravity may make your bones and muscles weaken.
Let's do a quick tour of Mizari Andalli.
Sure, because building on the surface is more expensive than building above ground. Mizari Andalli is mainly underground. Still, we have 4 domes above the ground. The first dome and tunnels beneath it mainly consist of residences, grocery stores, schools, and parks. The next dome is our commercial district. Most people spend their days here, whether working or just hanging out. This is also where we have most of our cat cafes.
Cat cafes?
Yes, to maintain the mental health of our citizens, we have cat cafes that are accessible to everyone. Generally, we don't have animals in our city, meaning everyone is vegetarian and there are no private pets, but everyone is welcome to visit one of the community kitties anytime. Next, we have our industry. This is spread between 2 domes, one with our factories, warehouses, greenhouses, and water reclamation plant. The other with our spaceport nuclear power plant and is the base for the main income of our city. We export helium-3, a gas usable in nuclear fusion. We gather the helium-3 using robots that scoop up the regolith, also known as moon dirt, and extract the helium-3.
And now, for the chief engineer to tell us all about the technology of the city.
Hello, would you like to hear about our energy sources first?
Sure.
Well, we have our main source of power, which is fusion power. We have the first fusion reactor on the moon, and it works like a charm. We use helium-3 that we mine for fusion and have renewable energy for the city that's created in a way that's clean for the environment.
What other technologies do you use?
We engineers decided that we should use solar power as our backup energy source. We live near Shackleton Crater, and all around the outside we've put solar panels in the prime spots to catch the most sunlight possible.
What about a defense system?
Outside the city, we have a system of turrets that launch plasma at asteroids, breaking them into small enough chunks to make them harmless to our domes. The turrets heat helium-3, making a plasma that is then condensed and launched by electromagnets. It should be able to hit any asteroid threats against our city. We also have a dome of plasma around the city, a bit like Earth's ionosphere. It is kept in place by powerful electromagnets. When an asteroid comes along, it gets disintegrated by the plasma if the turrets didn't get it. The only problem is that when it's on, it's opaque, and we can't send signals through it, making it impossible to communicate with Earth, so we only turn it on when we sense a threat.
Do you have technologically advanced recreation, too?
We have VR pods that can stimulate many environments using magnets. Users wear a bodysuit with thousands of tiny magnets in it. These magnets interact with the magnets in the pods to ensure that users can't walk through the objects in the simulation. We added a 360-degree treadmill on the bottom, letting users move freely, and with VR goggles, it creates an immersive atmosphere.
That's really cool. What solutions do you use to keep moon citizens healthy and safe?
Our dome is made out of melted regolith and leaded glass. The regolith is made into structural supports that then have glass panes between them. The glass is leaded to block radiation and make it livable in the city.
How do people get around in your city?
Inside each of the domes, there is a network of movement walkways that help people go to different places within the city. Between domes, we have a system of maglev trains that are a lot faster.
What problems do you have in your city?
Moonquakes. They're like earthquakes except worse and more frequent. We use hydraulics in our buildings and use flexible materials in their construction to minimize swaying, and surround all the buildings with rubber and concrete rings that stop shockwaves before they reach the foundations.
What are some of the trade-offs that have occurred in your city?
We have a limited supply of oxygen and other resources. Fire is a problem because it consumes oxygen. We designed our city to be as non-flammable as possible, but here at the south pole of the moon, the temperatures can get as low as negative 238 degrees Celsius. We have to make sure everything is made out of insulating materials as well, which is more expensive.
How do you get your oxygen?
We grow food and trees in large greenhouses. Together they make enough oxygen for our entire city. They use LED lights that emit blue and red wavelengths to best stimulate plant growth.
It's good to know that you have the oxygen problem solved. And it sounds like the problem of getting food is solved too. What about water?
We had our hydrogeological engineers and scientists develop a way to extract ice from regolith. After we've obtained the ice, we then melt it into water. Once it's melted, we filter half of the water into drinking water and half of the water into tap water so it goes through fewer cycles of filtration.
That's really cool. Hello, Mr. Hayden. How could I get to the moon? Or, what if I wanted to visit?
No visits. We don't take tourists. To book tickets, you need to have confirmation that you completed the Lunar Preparation Test administered by Let's Go Lunar, or LGL. And that's the asteroid alarm. I'm gonna lose transmit.
Okay, well, that's the end, folks. See you next time.